Hey, how y'all doing out there? It's me, Robert Prash, the King of Comebacks with two Ks at the end, Creating Greatest Podcast. We're here with another edition of these championship mindset talks, another shadow boxing edition. Shadow boxing in the dark, because it doesn't matter what our environment is, we're always going to seek to sharpen our skills, to hone in on the details and all the aspects of what makes us who we are and how we can do these things better. And then also to cultivate the awareness of how us doing these things better will lead us to the ultimate victory. That is at hand, man. That is at hand. We fighting for the righteous, man. We're fighting for the righteous in a time where, it's a lot of people fighting for the degradation. It's a lot of fighting for the degradation, man. So we focus on the light. We fight the dark wolf and feed the light one and continue to strive for everything that is holy, everything that is righteous, everything that is just and wholesome in this world, man, because it's still there. It's still great. It's still there, man. We've been vibing with a lot of different people on different podcasts, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in the people, as you all know, multiple podcasts with CL The Source from Unlocking Levels, multiple podcasts with Cameron A. Sharp from The Unbiased Truth, just did one with Manny Wilson from The Run podcast, and just did one with Felicia Hunter, Ouch That Hurts, on sort of a recovery themed podcast. Very interesting conversation that we had there. That'll be coming out in a few months, but the other ones are all out already, man. Check it out. It's other people that are certainly on the same path, on the same journey to find the light, man, and strive for the light. So, championship mindset talks. What's up, y'all, man? Have y'all been getting work? Have y'all been getting to work? Have y'all been thinking about the things we talked about? They're not all for you, but you can get something out of it, man. Have you been identifying your weaknesses, working on them, and turning them into strengths, identifying your strengths and maintaining them, maybe even working on them a little bit, but without highlighting it or in any sort of ostentatious way? We're calm, we're cool, we're direct, we're focused, we're disciplined. We strive for greatness at all times. And that's not to say that we accomplish that. But when you're continually striving for that high bar, you end up doing pretty good. And we talked about that quite a bit, man. So, yeah, here, we talk about life. We talked about the podcasts coming out, and we'll talk about going through some situations, man, where you are struggling to maintain all the things we just talked about, the proper motivation, discipline, and structure in your life and your days to create greatness in your life. And it's hard sometimes, man. Sometimes you can get thrown off by the simplest of things. I know it certainly happens to myself, whether I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, stub my toe, dump a drink early, whatever the case may be, whether it be something small or something large. I can oftentimes very easily fall into old traps, man, fall into traps of anger, frustration, worry, and anxiety. So, something that my wife started implementing into our days. I talked to you quite a bit about the reset button. The reset button is the ultimate tool in your arsenal because it's a literal and almost like a physical thing, though you're not, physically pressing the reset button. If you make that mental, physical connection and say, I'm resetting, I'm going to try again, and hold this philosophy, like I was talking about, that my wife sort of implemented into our daily life, which is relentless positivity. And what relentless positivity is it's just like, no, I'm gonna bring it back. I'm not gonna fall into old traps. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm not gonna get frustrated. I'm not gonna get sad. Those things may come. Different events throughout the day may trigger these negative emotions, but until we're able to learn to transition these negative emotions into positive actions, because that can be done as well. It's something that I do quite a bit with my anger, is like, okay, well, let's go beast out on a workout or something like that. And that's just one example of turning a negative emotion into a positive action. And that's a strong tool to have in your arsenal as well, because, you can take it one or two ways. You could let that negativity drag you down and spiral down into it, or you could fight the dying of the light and maintain that relentless positivity. It's not the minimizing of the dark or the dark doesn't exist, the denying of the dark. It's choosing what you're going to focus on. And that's what it is. That's the relentless positivity. It's not the denying of the dark. It's not, not recognizing the dark or the negativity that absolutely exists within day-to-day life and mundane functions. But it's choosing what I'm going to focus on, what we are going to focus on. My wife implemented that, so credit to her. And it's been really positive change, like in our day-to-day, whether we're in the car with the kids and maybe that's getting crazy, or even in the house with the kids and that's getting crazy. Either way, or if it's some external event that sort of triggers some negative emotion within the family to where we're not all at our best, maybe we're not all happy and smiling as much. Maybe we're getting trapped within our own minds in anger and frustration, and that those negative emotions will really sink in to the body and create some stress. And if it becomes chronic stress, it could then become disease. Your environment and your internal emotions are that strong. So that relentless positivity, that's number one, man. Once again, we're shadowboxing, man. We shadowboxing in the dark. It don't matter. We're putting in that work regardless of our outside environment, and whether we have the power of the tribe. I've been having a lot of power of the tribe lately, and I'm super grateful for that. Because it's a testament to, if you put in the work, they will come. You hear that sort of saying. I'm unsure where it originated, but you do your work, they will come. And as you're in solitude in the beginning, you're by yourself. I'm here now, podcasting via StreamYard, and I'm by myself. But a lot of times it starts this way. This is where the work begins. And this is what we have to sort of realize, that like it all starts with us, man. The work has to be about us. It has to be all intensely focused on us. And then as we, cultivate that discipline, cultivate that routine, develop those skills and traits and those powerful characteristics about ourselves, and embrace our uniqueness and be who exactly we are supposed to be here on this world, doing exactly what we are here supposed to be doing. It certainly creates that vibration that you hear a lot of people talk about in spiritual circles, and that vibration is real, my friends, and that vibration will expand and expand and expand, and it's indicative. The expansion would be relatable to your commitment. Something that I notice, and hey, I'm guilty, man. I'm guilty of falling off. We just talked about that. And that's what the relentless positivity is about. And that's what the king of comebacks is about. It's like, even if I have to come back from a day. But we are all set to, fall off and make mistakes. And that's why sometimes having the power of the tribe is great. But it's sort of paradoxical in the effect, like I was just speaking about, like you're doing the work and you're by yourself, and you're cultivating all these skills to become who you're meant to be. And then those people attract to you. And then the vibration is increased by, once again, like I was saying, the commitment. The more you are committed to your path, the more you are committed to your journey, the more you are committed to an absolute idea of what you hold, what you envision, man. And you actually detach yourself from the external events surrounding it, or the people, places, and situations that you may need at some given time to facilitate that vision or create that dream. If you diligently do the work, those things will absolutely come. So the power of the tribe is, yes, it's paradoxical, because you need those folk, but yet you need to be doing the work by yourself. But I just think it was important to talk about, to sort of help people balance out the way they network. So now, we're going to be on, excuse me, I'm checking my notes on the whiteboard, lists, notes, all those things. I don't care if you need charts, graphs, whatever it is, to just continually remind yourself of what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. When I was doing a class on Buddhist scriptures about a year or two back, they were talking about why a lot of Buddhists have paraphernalia around. Buddha statues, scriptures hanging on the wall, they wear certain robes and things of this nature. And I listened to him talk about it, and what he was saying was, it serves as a constant reminder of my faith. A lot of times when you're out there in the world, you could be the most devout, whatever religion you may be, Christian, Islam, Buddhist, or just heavy into your spiritual stuff, to where you maintain a certain space and direction in your environment, but then you can step out in the world and then you could get a little crazy, you know? So what they were saying is, you know, wearing these certain things, you know, having these beads or charms or having things around their home or in their car that remind them of their faith. It reminds them of the path. It reminds them of the journey. So it's something that I always do with, you know, my lists and my plans and my goals and all these things written in different places so that they're constantly in my face. I'm never, ever going to forget what my vision, what my dream is. And that's also a powerful tool that maybe, you know, you can start to implement in your life, whether it's writing stuff down, whether it's taking pictures, or having a vision board or whatever. There's all sorts of tools, and you can definitely adapt them to your personality type and make it work for you. So, you know, now we're moving into men and how I believe the men should be behaving, or how to uplift young men, or just give them an idea of purpose, or just help them, or maybe just I'm helping myself, but this is my path, this is my journey, this is my passion, this is my purpose, so this is what I'm doing. But I'm noticing quite a bit, you know, with the youth, and this goes for human beings as well, all human beings, not just men, but I speak primarily to men. When I see this sort of sense of entitlement based around, I don't know, I'm not sure what it's based around. I mean, I guess traditional values held the man in certain lights, or put the man up on a certain pedestal, and maybe in some realms that still exists, and that's okay. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm put on a pedestal in my family as the father and the patriarch, but my wife is also put on the pedestal, you know, for the backbone and the goddess that she is. You know, that's the way that it works. It has to be, you know, go both ways. But as far as the entitlement in any circumstance, you know, I look at this as like, you know, people say something about respect, and how to earn it, or should you just give it? And my thing is this, and I'm not talking about respect anymore. Respect is given on a base of, you know, general respect for all living beings. And then we move from there, whether it's a heightened level of respect, it would be based upon your behavior and based upon what your family thinks about it. You know, I think that's highly indicative of the value of a human being, is like, what does the people that spend the most time around you feel about you? But you're not entitled to anything. You know, nobody's entitled to anything in this world. And I'm talking about love. I'm talking about respect. I'm talking about power. You know, a situation, a certain sort of scenario that you picture yourself being in as a man or a father or a leader of your household. You know, so now we're moving on between, you know, beyond men and the human beings, and that's like that sense of entitlement is false. You know, you're not entitled to anything. You know, everything that you get in this world, you have to earn. So I don't feel that sense of entitlement. I don't feel like I should be able to do certain things because I'm the dad, or I'm, you know, the protector, or whatever. You know, I earn those things, and the way that you earn those things is through sacrifice. You know, what a real leader does is continually sacrifice his own feelings, his own agenda, for the greater good, for the common good. And, you know, that's the leadership that's been lacking in our world for the longest time. You know, it's sort of a self-serving agenda, has been for a very long time. Anyone who changes that belief, you know, they kill them. You know, they killed all these people throughout time. Anybody who's spoken out about it. But, you know, I'm not here to harp on that, and I really don't care about that, because the personal revolution starts from within. You know, you have to be the change that you want to see in the world. So therefore, if I want to be a leader in this world, man, then I'm making sacrifices on the regular for the greater good of my family. You know, I'm not going to make decisions based on selfish interests when I have people that look up to me, people that look to me for care and protection and love. And, you know, that's how we would hope that we could look to our leaders and have that benevolence, but it ceased to exist. And so therefore, you know, if we're not powerful to make a change on a level like that, then we have to change from within. We have to change within ourselves. And that's what I'm talking about here. So yes, you will have those situations that you feel you are entitled to, but first you have to earn them. First, you have to earn them through work and sacrifice, man, and love. And when you do those things continually and consistently, you will start seeing situations open up for yourself that you go, hey, yeah, this is what I wanted all along. This is what I needed all along. A small example is me sacrificing my own personal wishes, wants, and desires for my family continually and consistently. And then if I got a show that I really like, or I buy a new video game on the PS5 that I really enjoy, this is limited things. This is an hour or two a night on not even every night of the week. But that's my desire. I don't want to be sitting watching hours of television or playing video games. But I do like playing video games because it strengthens your hand-eye coordination. I like to test my skill there, and I suggest people to do that. It's fun, it's fun, and it tests your skills. But what I was saying is, I'm in there kicked up with my feet up, and my wife goes, "Don't even dare go in there and bother your father. You leave him alone." That's the situation where I feel like, yeah, I like this quite a bit. Not that I don't not like all the family time. I do all that, but I also like the luxury of being able to do that as well. And then my family allowing me to do that and not making me feel any sort of way because I've never shirked a responsibility, not never, but consistently not shirking responsibility and creating that space for grace. You know what I mean? And you can do that. That's a small example, one in my personal life, but you can do that in so many ways, so many different things, so many different examples is working diligently, discipline, consistently, and it creates freedom. It creates space, man. I promise you. It's the paradox of discipline. Discipline creates freedom. You hear that, but no one really, there's been a few that have articulated it well. I would say probably like Jocko and maybe Dave Goggins, although I don't have specifics. I'm just saying those are the gurus to me of discipline, but it does. And you only see it through time of consistently, diligently going about your routines and structure in a very disciplined manner. And then you'll watch situations like space created for more leisure activities or for more balanced activities or for times where you could be sitting back with your feet up and you don't even feel any type of way. It's like the planned bad decision, the conscious bad decision. I was talking to Manny Wilson on the run about this the other day. It's like, if you work 5-6 days a week and you do everything you're supposed to do, you're fasting, you're eating healthy, you're exercising, you're knocking out stuff off your to-do list, then do you plan the sixth day of sort of like, okay, I'm going to order a pizza, I'm going to catch up on my show, whatever it is for you, maybe that be my off day that I plan. But then while you're doing it, you don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about having the extra slice. I don't feel bad about watching 2 or 3 episodes back to back because I planned it, man. There have even been times like where me and my wife went on date night, like we just did a couple nights ago, and we had an alcoholic beverage or two. It's like we planned diligently for that, to create that space away from the children, the extra funds to do it, and the healthiness within our body to be able to do a little bit less of a healthy decision for one evening, eat a little dessert, have a little alcoholic beverage, and then move on to the next. You're back on the routine. But if we were to get in a situation where we were upset and we grab a babysitter on the fly and then we want to go blow off steam and have a drink and eat a bunch of sugary food, then the whole time you're doing it, at least me, and you'll get to be this way as you sort of progress in this self-improvement journey, is you'll feel bad. You'll start feeling, oh, I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I shouldn't even be doing this. And that's where time management as well as budgeting come in, because when there's a time for everything, your mind doesn't have to be on anything else because you had time for that. And when you budget everything and allocate all your resources where they're supposed to be, distribute them through all the funnels of your house, then you know exactly what you have to spend. So for instance, when we were on that date night, I knew exactly what I had to spend. I knew exactly what sort of less than best self decisions I wanted to make, which was just some really eating for taste and having an alcoholic beverage with my wife after a great massage here at the El Conquistador Resort in Tucson, or maybe it's considered Oro Valley. Just give them a quick shout out because it was lovely. It was lovely. So that's it, man. That's the work. And that disciplined, diligent work that we were talking about, the discipline that creates the freedom, to create the space, will really make your defenses impregnable. When we're talking about social situations, because at the end of the day, like, nobody can really tell you anything. Like, oh, well, you should do this, or you should do this, or they can't make you feel any type of way because, my business is handled. My business is handled, and you can really cut off many situations like that. as far as transversing verbal conversations or other commitments is like, if you're handling all your business and you're not shirking responsibilities, then when it's time for me to lay back and kick up, that's what it is, man. Mine's handled. So don't even come at me with that nonsense, you know. But you can't be like that if you're not putting in the work, man. That's the thing. You know, so many men, and I'm saying men, but, you know, humans, they have that attitude already. Nah, man, you can't even talk to me about nothing. You know, I had it. I'm talking to you. I know that I had the same attitude, but it's false. It's bravado. It's ego. It's not authentic, because you know deep seated that something they're saying is a little bit of truth to it. But when you carry out your thoughts, words, and deeds in this way, at least consistently, not always, we fall off, we fluctuate, your defenses become impregnable in any and all situations, whether it's at work or home or whatever. When your behaviors and thoughts and actions and deeds have all lined up, no one can tell you anything. No one can tell you anything. But here goes the key. With that philosophy, you can't let it build you up a brick wall of not listening, or not being open. Because, first of all, within a home situation, those people love you. So, at least most people's. And we have to sort of discern that within our own homes and eliminate those that do not have our ultimate best wishes firmly placed upon in their heart. You know, we talked about that. If your innermost circle does not have your absolute best well-being in their heart, then they got to change. The inner circle got to change. So remaining open to that constructive criticism within your home, especially, and maybe your workplace to some degree. The problem with the workplace is a lot of people have agendas. So you then have to further discern where it's coming from and if there's anything out of it that holds truth. But those are the filters that you have to run through in your mind. But you have to be open and you have to listen, even to the people that you know are BSing you, because that's how we remain firm in our ethics, our morals, our honor. You know, that's how we improve, because some of the stuff's true, man. You know, I mean, for instance, like I talk about that great speak off quite a bit because I thought it was just fraudulent. You know, it was sort of like a gimmick. They're trying to hustle you to buy the class and all that stuff. And all that stuff's true. I hold that to be true. You know, I went over that a long time in my head, because once again, these are the filters that you have to run certain things through. Like, are you just bitter because you lost? Are you just like a hater now or whatever? But here's the thing. They wanted speeches prepared in a very particular way that you wouldn't have known unless you bought the class. And then also it just was a picking of people that had businesses. The speakers had businesses, things that they could then sink their teeth into. So it was a hustle, it was a grab, and I think it was bullshit. But what I will say about it is some of it was true. You know, I lost for a reason. I had to improve my speaking skills. I am just did it or not being clear and concise, losing my train of thought, getting overly passionate and emotional where I'm just sort of all over the place because I'm sort of a spiritual being. We all are spiritual beings, and I could get overtaken very quickly. And I worked on that. And hence, as you've seen, the Everyday Excellence series, clear, concise, to the point, and ideas expressed in an articulate way. Now on the Championship Mindset Talks, and I'm trying to do the same thing, but all the while trying to improve. And I've seen it. Like, man, I could look back at my episodes, 10, 20 episodes ago, and wow, I think there's a lot of value there and a lot of talent. Now I think I'm drawing in more of an audience because I'm very direct in what I want to talk about, and I'm more clear and concise. And I learned that from the great speak off. So I'll still thank them for that. Thank you for that constructive criticism, but it was my job to listen. And it's the same thing at home. Like, my mom and my wife talk to me sometimes and I don't want to hear it, but I have to listen to it. And then there's been times where maybe not the moment, but further on upon self-reflection, which is very, very important. I go, maybe they were right. Maybe I could work on that. And that's how we can more successfully maneuver through our social relationships. So a lot of times during life, things go wrong, man. They just go wrong. And at these times, it's important to gain your awareness. It's important to snap back into focus for a second, because when things go wrong, we have a very quick tendency to spiral down. You get mad, you get angry, you get anxious, you want a vice, you want to eat something bad, you want to have an alcoholic beverage, you want to go be promiscuous or whatever, you want to go to the club, whatever's you want to go shop, you want to get the dopamine going in whatever way it is for you, whether it be social media or shopping or all the things we just talked about. A lot of times external events will trigger us into certain behaviors, and that is the key to understand when you're triggered, man, and then dig into it. Why was I triggered? Where was I triggered? How was I triggered? And then you're going to start to figure out all the ways to maneuver about your personality, man. But when things go wrong, you have to just snap into it for a minute, dude. Hold on. What is actually happening? What? And I mean anything. Because you have the decision right there to do all those things we just talked about. Allow yourself to get more and more emotional, because you're getting angry, you're getting upset, you're getting frustrated. Now you're triggering a cycle of events that may cause more frustration and more anger, because once you're in that agitated state, now more and more things are going to start going wrong. So you see how that can spiral fast, and then you make a bad decision. You might have been this frustrated, but now this, and this happened, and you're more frustrated, and now you're more opt to make a bad decision. And we don't want that. We don't want to get stuck in that effort mentality, because a lot of dangerous things happen when we hit the effort button. So we don't want to do that. We want to at least just for a second gain our awareness. So, oh man, this is happening. What is it? What is exactly happening? Just try to analyze it for just a second, and then you can decide whether you consciously want to hit the effort button. I do not suggest you do that, but at least you're doing it with an awareness, which I would say is a little better. But here goes the important thing. Once you catch that awareness, you're not going to do that. You're going to go, oh shit, I got to keep my faculties. I can't go smoke a joint. I can't go have a drink. I can't go dive off the deep end of despair and start digging into every vice to give me a little bit of momentary pleasure because I'm experiencing a bad time right now. No, I got to get through this. And the way to get through it is straight. Even if it's swerving around the obstacles, you have to maintain your faculties, your awareness, your presence, your state of being, your focus to navigate that potential problem successfully. And then here you go. If you do that, if you make that decision, you became aware. So now you're not going down that spiral of more frustrating events happening, because now you can avoid those things because you're paying attention. You're not lost in angry emotion. And then guess what? You figure out the problem along the way. And then the problem may not even be that big a problem. So let's not turn, what do they say? Anthills in the mountains, or is it molehills in the mountains? Let's not do any of that. How about that? So yeah, we don't negotiate. Man, a lot of times when these bad things happen, this is what's going to happen. You got your sharks out there. We talked about it last Shadowboxin episode anyway. We get to the top, or you start getting levels. Now you're in there with the sharks, man. You're in there with these people. They've been there already. They've been there for a long time, and they got more resources than you. They have bigger networks than you, and they don't want you there. So that's why we can never lay off the pedal. That's why we can never go, oh, okay, I've arrived. I'm done. I'm going to just sail. No, you're not. You're going to degrade unless you vigorously maintain, because now you're there, man. You're swimming with the sharks. And when you have those bad times, some of these sharks will try to hit you with the BS. They try to come at you. They try to, if they think you're cornered, they're going to try to offer you something, like a way out. They're going to maybe make it sound like some sort of deal or some sort of way out of your suffering. However low it may be, or a little bit of financial suffering, or if you're a little bit anxious or frustrated about a situation or an opportunity that isn't going exactly the way you want. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We just don't, man. If you come at me with some sort of deal based upon any sort of pressure, I don't care. That is a non-negotiable and a deal breaker in my contract of life. I don't care what the situation is, man. Don't ever come at me with some sort of deal that you're trying to place upon me, even with a smidge of pressure, or there's some, well, if you don't do this, this may happen involved. Get out of here, man. That's BS. Those people are scammers. Those people are hustlers. Those people are desperate, man, and don't do business with desperate people. People, I don't care if it's a $10,000, $20,000 deal. If they're desperate for that 10, 20, guess what? They got a whole lot of vices. That's why they need that money, and they're going to mess your money up, and they're going to mess your situation up. So especially when we're getting the bigger amounts of money like that, making these sort of deals, man, keep your eye out for those sort of people because they exist on every level of life. And that's one of the major benefits of going through the school of hard knocks like we did, you know. Well, not all of us, you know, because I'm not alienating anyone from this group, man. This is creating greatness. This is spiritual warriors. So wherever you are at in life, man, please come into the fold. Let's talk about it. But a lot of us have went through that hard knocks life, man, and it gives you that dual education. So then when you start, but you can't bring that here. You have to keep that mentality, but you have to level up the way that you articulate yourself. You have to level up the way that you communicate. You have to level up your physicality, level up your mentality, you know, but don't forget where you came from. A lot of guys, they try to get up there and maintain that street stuff, bullying around, and it's not going to go far. It's not going to fly, man. You know, I tried it. I'm just being honest, you know, and I failed and ended up, you know, back where you know. So keep the mentality, though, because you see that that stuff coming a mile away like a BS detector. You know, we got it, and we're going to use it. So we don't negotiate with terrorists, man. Don't ever try to pressure me in any sort of deal because I'll walk away and be broke before I deal with a person that don't want to deal with me. And we're going to talk about that as well. We wrapping up, though. And then once you get that mentality, you're going to start rolling. You're going to start picking up steam. And then you're going to start seeing all these things line up. Man, I got podcast after podcast. We're moving this day. We're packing this day. We're doing podcast. And sometimes you get to that point and you go, hit the chill button. But all you need to do is take this deep breath right here with me. Line it up. Chop it down. Let's go. Let's go. What else you got to do, man? This life, baby. Let's go. Line it up. I'm going to chop it down. Line it up and chop it down, man. Anything you put in my path, we're going to get it done. We're going to do it. We call the GSD crew. Get shit done crew. I've been that for a long time, man. And anybody that fuck with me, you on GSD too, man. We getting shit done, crew. You can't put nothing past us. We too sharp. We too smart. We too aware. We too physical with ours, man. There's no backing down here in this spiritual warrior program, and you with us. And creating greatness, we're going to take you there every time, man. That's why I continually ask y'all to like vibe with me, work with me, connect with me on social media. King, come back to 2Ks at the end. Hit me up on Creating Greatness Podcast at Gmail because together, there's no limit to this, man. It's no limits to this. It's no telling how far we really could go. And that's the whole purpose that we're here for. See how far we can take this thing, man. And that's another one, man. It is 2023, and I always go back to one of my favorite sayings by Kevin Gates. And he says, I'm going where I'm celebrated, not tolerated, man. And I won't work with nobody that don't want to work with me in 2023, 2024, and beyond. I'm going to keep being around people that want me around. I'm going to continually be where I'm celebrated, not just tolerated. You know, I'm continually going to have people on the podcast that want to be here, man. That's why I ask anyone who wants to come on the show, like, all right, hit me with an email, a couple bullet points about what you want to talk about. It's a very small step, but what it does is it eliminates the people that don't want to be here, man. So put those steps in your life, those kind of blockades or those swerves that people got to adjust to if they want to be in your life, man. You know, because if you ain't with me, then you're not against me, but get out of my way because I got things to do, man. And I always take it back to see other source because my boy, he always reminds me to remain loving, man. Remain loving because I can get so driven, so focused, so excited about this self-improvement movement that my whole life, my spiritual warrior program and Creative Greatness podcast is about. But I always have to be brought back to that center of love, man. But yeah, I still maintain that mentality of if you're not with me, then get out of my way because I have things to do on this earth. I have a sense of urgency about my life. I have a limited amount of time to do a whole lot of things that I want to do. And that's why I have to maintain that philosophy, but I do it from a place of love. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the degradation of society, man. Yeah, I know y'all see it. I'm going to mention a couple quick examples just to give where I'm coming from. You know, I watch the commercials. Pharmaceutical companies are pumping out 100 miles an hour about medications you can take for certain things. Excuse me. Then they list a laundry list of effects that it will, side effects that it will give you, that they will in then turn offer you another medication to take care of that one. Now you're on double medication, or maybe they'll offer you some unnecessary surgery that they haven't perfected. I'm speaking as a person that's very heavily involved in the health industry, and it is a business. They make business decisions, and we're just going to leave it at that. They don't make people decisions, and you have to be careful even walking into a hospital nowadays, man. I learned that having my son and having him in the NICU for 22 days in treating him in ways that I didn't always agree with, but I was told that if I wanted to take him out, then I would have to get diapers involved. Man, that's the control that they had over my son Rocky, and that's why I will never have any more children. But I don't tell you not to have children, man. And I don't tell you not to get married, because married and having children is the best thing in my life. But hospitals are not. And I see these commercials and I look at it as a degradation of society. They want us on these things. They want us getting these unnecessary surgeries. They want us taking more and more medications so these pharmaceutical companies can make more and more billions, and we could be less and less healthy, not telling us that the vibrant, abundant source of health is available to us all the time for free. Yes, you may get charged for water, but you got sunlight, you got fresh air out there, and if you get the water from the tap, just make sure you distill it, because it's riddled with chemicals that will also decrease your vibe. The degradation of society isn't an agenda. I see in another one on Burger. I'm getting my hair cut, so I'm stuck in front of the TV. That's probably where this rant's coming from, because although I watch streaming services, I don't many times see commercials, and I see burgers with 4 and 5 layers on the burger, and I'm just looking like, do we really need that in our life, man? Do we really need 4 or 5 burgers stacked high, like of any kind? It ain't about whether it's meat or not meat, or just, it's a degradation of society, man. They want you to want these things. They want you to consume these things filled with chemicals and preservatives and things that your body doesn't even recognize. It goes straight to fat, these GMOs and all this crazy stuff that we're not even sure how these things really interact with the body yet. They ain't been around long enough. I can tell you something, if it's not organic, if it's not from this earth, I don't want it in my organic form, man. I don't want to put it in here unless I do it on purpose. And I don't want to be craving these things, because I remember times when I would, have fast food. I haven't had fast food in years, except for Chick-fil-A. I have to give credit where credit's due there. But then I would crave it, and I would feel not even full. Like I would eat a double cheeseburger, and that, back in the day, McDonald's had the 2 for $2, and I'm getting 2, and then I'm getting 4, and it's just a degradation, man, of society. And I feel that it is purposely done. And then, the things with the kids, if you just look at how our kids are targeted for certain agendas, man, you'll realize very quickly that there's certainly some sort of there's more at play than what's being told to us. That's why I boycotted Disney, man. They're having all of these really crazy themes on their cartoons, and I just don't agree with it for children. I don't care what you do or what kind of TV you want to create, but when it's geared towards children, I have a problem with it. So yeah, I boycotted Disney. I don't buy any of their services. I don't buy any of their products. But it goes further, even Netflix or Prime. If you let your kids control what they watch and don't pay attention, you will see some very weird, strange things. And I'll give the example right before I finish this podcast up. I know you guys are going, he's got going on a rant for so long. Ninja Turtles. One of the cartoons that I watched growing up, man, when these guys were heroes, they were just, they were righteous, they were tough, they were focused, they were disciplined. They were silly and goofy to make it entertaining for a child, but they also were heroes, like Superman. They were righteous and just, and they still are that, but they're not tough. They're not smart. They barely figure out the situation in the episode anymore. They're silly. They're gross. They do all these crazy, just derelict things. And the way that they end up solving the crime in the end is just almost by sheer chance, and it is of any ninja ability. So to me, I just go, why are they promoting this to kids? Like that you could be a successful ninja when you're really barely falling into the win. You're getting beat up, you're getting trapped, and then somehow, miraculously, you win in the end. And that's just not how life works. It's sort of like when they're handing out participation trophies, man. That's not how life works. And how are we going to learn to win if we never feel the pain from a loss, man? Woo! How are we going to learn to win when we ain't never felt the pain from a loss? I'm end it right there, man. I'm drop the mic. Drop the mic. My name is Robert Prash, King of Comebacks on all social media outlets, and this is Creating Greatness Podcast. I appreciate y'all for listening in, man.